When I started here as principal 17 years ago, it was a very different school. Children sat down and were quiet in their classrooms. They didn't move around. The teachers stood in front, dressed conservatively. We had just gone through a whole change in society within our country. The children here were not only mainly white, but they were also homogeneous in culture and religion. We certainly had not ever had any children with physical disabilities here. The society needed to start changing from the inside of schools. And so it was a perfect opportunity for that.
To me, as a mother, I have really been extremely blessed to have my two children, especially because David, my oldest one, he was born with a lot of problems. He couldn't pick up a pencil. They said to me, David won't be able to read, he won't be able to write, he won't be able to do anything. I had high expectations for David, even knowing his limitation.
If you were unusual, you didn't come to the school right away. And if they found out that you were unusual after you had been entered at the school, then you were taken away from there. She'd been to, I can't even remember, 40-something schools.
Sorry, we're full. Sorry, we can't accommodate. Sorry at all times.
A lot of the staff, I think, were scared. They didn't really want change. They couldn't see the empathy that our children would have to learn. They couldn't see that although this boy might not be able to remember things, he would teach us. I had to then make the decision as a leader to say, this is the way we're going to go. And even if I have nobody behind me initially, I have to just make that decision. I do remember seeing David walking around the school, and he was always surrounded by other children, at least 2 or 3 children, because they were helping him manage his day. And so they would remind him what books he needed to have out for the next day, made sure he had his homework with him.
So we grew with the confidence. It wasn't really a panic attack anymore to go to school, but it was a joy.
We realized that the children were leading all the time. They were showing us ways of doing things differently and changing society.
The legacy of David White is significant because he set the tone, he set the mark for all the other children who've come on board. It's a school that is willing to not be conventional quite intentionally. We're trying to say we'll do something that's different, and we do that all the time. We teach love and empathy and kindness, flexibility, problem solving, resilience, innovation, compassion, because those are far more important than just knowing how to read and write.
We teach them how to manage real life situations so that they use their thinking to try and problem solve. In society, at work, those are the kinds of things that are going to happen all the time. The school focuses on that hidden curriculum of values teaching and conflict management and team skills. Those will never go wrong.
Generally, there's a sense of the children working across the grades to help each other. They help us with the recycling. They will help in the library. Children help with all the animals. They are part of what the school represents. They're not just a byproduct of what we do.
I'm really proud of the society that we have created here, that we're still creating literally day by day, because it never stops.
I think the way the staff and all the pupils interact is very different from other schools.
The school almost lets you have a little bit of rein while still keeping you in the right track.
When you become a leader within a group, you have to worry about the other people and how they might be feeling because you are a leader.
I use empathy now to understand my classmates and my teachers, and I think that later on in life I'll use empathy to understand other people I work with.
There's so much creativity, there's so much potential that if you open your eyes wide enough, you can see the South Africa Mandela dreamt about. Because he didn't dream of a utopia, he dreamt of a real place where people were working together and trying to move forward together.
So the truth of the matter is that every single one of these children does come from a different place. Some of them are very wealthy children, some of them are exceptionally poor. And every single time we bring in another different child to the school, we learn something else. People are learning from us while we're learning from each other. The whole world might now be sitting up and taking notice of our little microcosm of society at the southern end of the southern hemisphere. I still remember David every day because I have his picture that he drew when he was in grade 2 on my wall. And when I see that picture, it reminds me all over again that we need to be brave every single day because the possibilities after that are endless.